Dude, vinegar, oil, salt, pepper. Oh, it's so good, dude. Ah, dude, put some garlic powder on there. Treat yourself. What the fuck is this ping? I fucking pull it out. The engine knocking noise. This makes me feel at home. Dude, I was making hella sandwiches about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I was going crazy on the sandwiches. Walmart actually used to have decent bread from their in-house bakery near me. Like, the bread was actually really decent. But for some reason now it's like bad. I don't know. That's like 3 times I've gotten it. Usually they have like 6 like hoagie rolls or whatever they're called for like 6 hoagie rolls for like $3, like 250 or something. Which is like generally pretty cheap for bread, but it's bread, so whatever. But it's like freshly baked or whatever in house, and it was like good. It was actually decent, but now it's kind of trash. I don't know what happens. I don't know if I don't know if a new person came in and they started doing it for cutting corners or something, but it just wasn't very good. It's like 2 times I've gotten it. I'm considering just going back to like white bread or something. And I mean like, you know, like preservatives loaded kind instead of the bakery kinds. Little steak and cheese. I wish I'd eaten lunch before I started. I'm not about to drive around. You know what? I want to repair my car real quick. You're out there. Never just be cool. All right, we're picking up important people here. Gonna be late. These fuckers. Or be cool. Fuckers make me walk down the entire pier. 2 minutes till it starts. God.
Ni hao, Sheriff Svensen. Mr. Li Jinping is very excited to be here today.
I'm so excited to meet you guys too. We're actually a little bit behind schedule, if you don't mind. We kind of gotta get going.
understand. I will inform Mr. Li Jinping.
Dude, oh my god. All right. Right this way.
Thank you. Sure.
I don't know. This is what they asked me to pick. I don't know if it's okay. I just. Everybody's got a boss, even the sheriff guys. It's not up to me. Did you see the size of the warship? I'd say the warship is above the Senate. I mean, I don't know. Thanks for the 31 months off. Who wants shotgun?
Bozo detected.
Owen's cow dance.
All right, I think we gotta get going. Thanks, Habibi. That was a pleasant trip.
The trip across the sea is always pleasant with the bounty majesty of the People's Republic of China warship.
Is that the name of the ship?
It is the easiest translation into English for you.
Okay.
Now, Sheriff Svensen, I must ask you, what exactly is the full purpose here? My father, Mr. Li Jinping, is not fully aware of why he was summoned.
You know, honestly, I'm not sure why you guys were summoned either. I think there's a bit of an issue. A loyal deputy that I guess they wanted you to come weigh in on for a little bit for the panel.
We had correspondence from Mr. Toretti, who was the previous sheriff and I believe currently in a higher position within the local police department.
Yep, that's right. Now he's the deputy commissioner now.
Yes, this is very good for the sponsors.
You guys don't mind if I speed, right? Kind of got to get there, you know?
Mr. Li Jinping's time is very important to us. We cannot dilly-dally around, Sheriff Svensen.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
To my understanding, this is to do with some form of insurrection.
Yeah, that word was thrown around a little bit.
This
Yeah,
is
one of
very
our own.
worrying for us and the sponsors back in the PRC, Sheriff Svensen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Silas. He wanted to leave and
Silas. Oh. Okay. Yes, Silas Grimmer, we had many reports come back to the mainland from Vladimir Raven when he was our contact in the SDSO. We are very aware of his current social credit standing.
is that good or bad?
That is not of your concern, Sheriff Svensen.
Okay.
However, we have been having follow-up reports from our new contact, Luka Kozlov.
Oh, he's the new contact?
Yes.
Does that mean he's gonna be wearing the special uniform?
That is up to him if he wishes to wear it. That is not my decree to make.
I see. I think it shows they're whispering together instead of, you know, like they're talking together. It's the fill-in because they don't actually know Chinese. Oh my god, dude. Is everything okay?
Nothing for you to concern yourself with, Sheriff Svensen.
Right, my bad.
Sheriff Svensen, I must ask you a question.
Of course.
Why did you leave the SDSO?
Oh, you know, there was just some things I had to work out with old Dominic, you know.
It was very concerning when we found that out, and that Coretti wanted to bring you back on as the under-sheriff.
Yeah,
We
it
had to
was just
fight very hard to give you that role and to now let you be the sheriff.
yeah, no kidding, you're not the only ones who were upset about that.
We are not upset per se. We are more worried about your loyalty. To
Oh,
the
I'm loyal.
sponsors.
I'm loyal to the well, you know, I haven't known you guys very long, but I don't think you've ever done us wrong, so
Yo.
he's so aggressively doing it. Are you okay? It sounds a bit
Nothing
strange.
to worry about.
Okay. Of course.
My father, he does not understand English, so I have to translate everything
I see.
for him.
All right. I think we're gonna be upstairs, hopefully. This way. I'll lead the way. How about that? Yo, what's up, Amish dude? Thanks for the 18
Thank you,
months.
Sheriff Svensen. As we have never been to this building, this is quite the experience.
Yeah, you know, actually, they just rebuilt this. It was just leveled less than a week ago.
I can tell by the inferior American infrastructure.
Just lock this behind you guys here. And we're gonna go upstairs. 2 flights. No elevator.
I do as well. I would love also Mr. Moan Memorial Hospital. He's alive. Who's in a memorial to?
All right.
Yeah, but that's
Hey, should I introduce him, or are you gonna do that? I don't want to step on your toes here.
It is important for you to introduce us.
What should I refer to you as in there?
The donors of the SDSO.
Okay. You know, something like that. All right.
Okay, I put signs at the bottom of both staircases.
Hey everyone. Got some important people. They're important to the SDSO here. If everyone, they're just gonna sit in for a little bit. I think they want to weigh in on this thing a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni
Hey,
hao.
ni hao.
This is
Oh.
Mr. Li Jinping.
Now
He is an
it's
important
okay.
primary
Now I'm not responsible
donor
anymore.
to the SDSO, and thus requires to sit in on any tribunal hearing, especially due to the alleged offences.
Right. Sweet, stand up. Give him your seat.
Come on, sweets.
Come on,
Yes, sir.
Sweets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys can sit right there. It's okay.
Wake up at 9 a.m. I gotta
Thanks,
fucking
Sweets.
give up my fucking chair. Gotta fucking stand now.
What I missed? Sorry, I had to pick them up. They were in
Haven't
they were in
even had
Toledo
breakfast
for
yet?
God knows what reason.
Coffee yet?
That's okay. We're
Beautiful
nothing's
place
missed.
to
We
arrive
haven't
in,
we
though.
haven't started yet.
Thank God.
Okay, who's handling this?
We all are, right?
Yeah.
No,
It's,
no, I know, but like,
This is what I'll say here. Okay. Um, I'm glad. Thank you guys for being here for this. This is a very important thing that I'm glad we could all come together for. What I will say is, obviously, Silas is sergeant in the SDSO, and Owen is the highest ranking person in that department right now.
Owen's
Technically,
praying.
and Willie
Oh,
is the
thanks, nice iced coffee.
lieutenant
Yeah,
slash
it's 9
kind of
months.
head of the SDSO. So I'd like them to have be the people making the decision here. However, I'd greatly appreciate everybody here's opinion and suggestions, and I'm confident that they will all take it into consideration. And when they make their decision, whether they want to do a majority type of vote or they're going to go against the curve or come up with something of their own, I think it's important that we all are here for something like this and we can all kind of agree and understand what's going on
Oh,
forward.
thanks for the 100 bits, Olson.
Hey.
Oh, hype train. Look at that.
That's, otherwise, let's rock and roll.
Are they outside? Should we bring them in?
Yeah.
I'll go grab Silas.
should we record this? Like, should we like get an audio recording going or something? Record it or not?
Can if you want to. I don't think we need one, but it can't hurt, I guess.
I guess what I'm saying is anything in this room that Silas might say, is that gonna be used in any criminal proceedings in the future?
Criminal? I can't imagine.
No.
I don't think we suspect him of anything criminal.
What?
Okay, good.
Can he bring sticks in Big T, or is this just a
his-
Silas?
Is that his advocate?
It seems like it, yeah.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Also, if you're, Libby, if you want, can you give Tweets the document that Malton gave us?
Did I need to read that still?
Mountain's here, by the way, so he's
he
outside.
he made it.
Yeah, he's out on the right. The chair's on the right.
All right. Do we want to talk to him first?
I've not read the Molten thing.
No, it's a bit late now, but
All right.
we talked to him afterwards.
All right.
I've had a piercing for 5 years. Shows how much attention you pay.
Oh, thanks for gifting a sub, Bring Prong. Fresh in the hype train. So close to the hype train.
Squeak, shut up, you're embarrassing me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How's it
Hello,
going?
Silas.
Actually, everyone here. That's crazy. You know, who's that?
Hello, Silas.
Hey, Willie.
Should we get the formalities out of the way with the sponsors?
Yes.
Projector thing is in my eyes.
Silas, just so you know, the sponsors are here.
Ni hao, Mr. Grimmer.
Ni hao. Ni hao.
Mr. Lee.
Thanks to
Jinping
2 gifted, Olson.
will be
God, this hype
listening
train
in
is
today
elusive.
and weighing
Don't
in
know,
if
huh?
necessary.
Thank you.
That's fine.
All right. Let's let this panel for Silas Grimmer begin.
Well, I brought my advocate here. Future
Hello.
Commissioner Jaden Bain.
Bozo's on 3.
Hello.
Oh,
One,
the
two,
5
three.
gifted. Thank you, Spare Fry.
Question. Sorry, just for the room and the sponsors and
You know what?
everybody
Fuck
present.
the hype train.
Can
Thank you
give
for the
us
5 gifted.
A rundown
That's better.
of why we're here today for the panel, Silas Grimmer.
Owen, you want to do that?
Yeah. I think there's going to be some contention on what's claimed on both sides, but from where I'm sitting and what I understand to be the truth, Silas Grimmer attempted to start a separate department while inside the SDSO. He used his position as the SDSO Shift 1 Sergeant to gather support and organize a meeting, maybe multiple meetings, meeting with his loyal supporters, in which he was attempting to break free from the SDSO and start a new unit, or a new department, one that we've had before called the VPD. It's unclear what his relationship is with Lance Moulton, who previously ran that. Well, I think I know what it is, but that's for everyone else to decide as well. I'm not going to taint the well before we get into it. Apparently, Roy Armstrong was also involved. Roy invited people to this meeting, indicating some kind of like a supervisory role in this meeting, but he wasn't present. We have to talk to him separately. But the real nuts and bolts of it is he attempted to use his position as a trusted sergeant in the SDSO to kick the legs out from under Shift 1 SDSO and start a new department with no approval from high commands, and only himself notified in command.
Now, someone who actually knows what happened should probably say something. That was the explanation of a man who talked to probably one or maybe two at most people who were
Thanks for the
there,
2 gifted, Rolly.
and didn't even talk to me or listen to anything I had to say. This whole VPD thing, all right, is correct, but there's a lot more to it. You see, everyone, and sponsors included, I have a dream. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
And that dream is to one day have my own department. And that is no secret. I'm sure Big T he can chime in and say how many times I've told him about this. And yeah, specifically the VPD, because when I started as a officer in the LSPD, I mainly patrolled Vinewood because I noticed that nobody patrols Vinewood. And there was a shit ton of 31, excuse my language, sponsors. There was a ton of burglaries in Vinewood that no one was responding to. So I took up the responsibility and brought back a dead unit known as the Burglary Task Force. I brought it back, all right, and I ran the BTF that used to be called the VPS, actually, the Vinewood Patrol Squad. Now, this was way before the VPD was ever a thing. In fact, I actually told Moulton about my dream, and he went, "It's a pretty good dream." And then a week later, he somehow got the VPD, stole my dream. I could not believe it.
Stole my
Project
dream.
VPD is an idea, all right? So when I asked people if they were interested in one day assisting me, if the opportunity should ever arise, would they join me if I ever got my own department? Now, I think a big confusion that is happening right now between me and Owen and Big T is when I say VPD, it's more of Project VPD. It's not literally, I am going to take over Vinewood with a group of people who believe and trust in me. It is, we are getting together, all right, to prepare. So when an opportunity arises, say a sheriff's election, or I can convince the acting commissioner, then we could start making moves. It could be Vinewood, it could be Grapeseed. It's just having our own department, my own department one day. All right? And I don't see anything wrong with that. When there's a sheriff election, can I not get people together to vouch for me and support me in a sheriff's election? If I don't understand what the problem is. This seems to be blown out of proportion. All right? All I did was prepare for the future. And if that's so wrong, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Big T. say something.
Sure, I will say something. The first thing I'll ask is, was there a sheriff's election, or was there any opportunity
Here we go.
for someone to
Lawyer
become
Big T. Lawyer T.
a new department?
Okay. You weren't paying any attention at all, or?
I think it's a valid point that.
Oh, it
you
is
talked
because
about
I
how
clearly stated for the future.
Right.
There is not one, and I don't know if there even will be one in the near future.
Hmm.
But history has shown there are sheriff elections. I mean, you've been part of 2
Right.
yourself, Big T.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. I think that's probably the issue we're having here. This was never going to be an overnight thing. This was to gauge interest, all right? See who would help me out. Now, I referred to it as the VPD, and that's probably the problem. This whole idea of mine was supposed to start as just perhaps a better word for it would be a unit who patrols Vinewood. And then when an opportunity arises with, of course, permission from either the Senate, who I think they run the sheriff elections, I'm not sure actually, or the acting commissioner, I would do it the right way. I've never, in my
Thanks
what,
for
how
the
long
tier
has it been?
1.
20
Free
years
prong.
of being a cop, I think.
Thank you.
I've never taken the easy way out, ever.
Oh, it's early.
Okay.
Okay. So before I let everyone else take over, I do want to ask 2 things. The first thing is, did you or did you not, I guess usurp me or say any negative things about me during our meeting?
The yawn.
And second of all, do you think it's a good idea
He's
to
counter
create
yawning.
more distrust in the leadership of your own department in order to gain support in a department you weren't
Please silence
even
your phones. Very rude.
given any go-ahead to start creating?
You asked me like 8 questions. You want to do
Nope,
one
that
at a
was
time
2
here?
questions.
That was 2 questions.
two
That was at
questions.
least 8 questions.
Objection, leading. That was a
Can-
bunch of leading
Can you
stuff.
give them one at a
sticks.
time, Big T? It's
Sure.
early.
Was there any
Yes, I talk shit about you.
okay, what'd you say?
I said I don't. Your
Fuck,
decision
they're
making
hopping
is
for
poor.
audio.
Okay,
I mean,
what
you know
else?
this. Like,
So you were telling the other people there that I'm a bad leader and they should follow you? Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember if I said you're a shit leader, but I did say your decision making is questionable / poor.
Okay. Okay, and then the second part, answer that part.
What was the second thing?
Do you think it's a good idea to create more distrust in the leadership of the department without any reason or
That's leading as shit. Talking about no one.
isn't a call.
This isn't a court
Yeah.
proceeding. He can
It's
ask
not
whatever he
happening.
wants.
Well, it's a bad question because you're just. I'm not causing any distrust in anyone.
you don't think telling your subordinates that I'm a bad leader and they should follow you and come to you and have a meeting instead of following
No, you're
me
putting
is a
words in
good
my
idea?
mouth. You weren't there. That's not what I said. I did not say you should follow me instead. Come to me instead. This is the issue I have here.
Okay.
Is you never listen, and then you assume what happened when you're just wrong.
Hmm.
Now,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the
again, this
diaper
all
baby.
started-
Praying for a diaper baby.
Actually, no, this is new information. So, the SDSO blew up.
Praying for a
started
diaper
having a-
baby.
Joint
Jeez.
meetings with the PBSO at
You
their
demented
office.
diaper baby.
And Stubby's here. Ooh, okay. Well, the meeting was not great. Needless to say, a lot of SDSO just kind of left it early because we were bored, and then we were all talking in downstairs PBSO, and then an idea arose because everyone was just kind of, you know, not in a great mood. Someone who said it? Sticks. Do we sell out Colombo here or not? So the 3-time Rocco Colombo, he noticed I
4-time.
was upset.
He's the 4-time.
My mistake. Sticks, you idiot. He was the 4-time.
Rocco Colombo.
Excuse
This
me.
Rocco
4-time
Colombo.
Undersheriff
Fucking killing
Rocco
me.
Colombo. He noticed I was you know, not in a good mood. And he was like, Silas, why don't you start your own department?
When did this happen?
The exact day?
Yeah.
Were you there when we tried to blow bubblegum into Big T's hair?
How many days ago are we talking? Weeks? Days?
Oh, it was a day before the secret meeting.
Okay, he's not the undersheriff, and he was not the undersheriff at that time.
That's right. But he is the 4-time.
He is the 4-time. No one can take that from him. But don't title him as the undersheriff when you're trying to put blame on him. He's just a senior deputy now.
Well, so he said, why don't you start your own department? I said, impossible. Impossible. He said, well, I forgot what he said, but he basically alluded to, you know, starting small, gauging interest, without even asking, which I think is another problem. I think you guys think I went to people individually and specifically. People will just they were just eavesdropping and overhearing our conversation. And they were like, yeah, you know, that's a good idea, you know. And I said, all right, we're going to have a meeting tomorrow and we can talk about things. And the meeting was interrupted almost immediately. But all the meeting was really going to discuss is a potential new unit that we could make to expand the BTF into just patrolling Vinewood and responding to Vinewood calls. And then again, in the future, if the opportunity arises, that is when I would try to get legitimacy and permission to turn it into my own department. My dream, the Vinewood Police Department.
Okay, let's get a few things straight. As of 5 days ago, before your suspension, what was your position in the UPD?
Sergeant of the SDSO.
All right. You're sergeant in the SDSO. What is your purview of that job? Do you have a short description of what you do, or what you're expected to do?
Yeah, I lead. I make sure things are going smooth in shift 1. Handle issues, problems.
Okay, and
Stuff like that.
so what part of your job description includes starting a secret meeting with roughly 40 to 60% of your SDSO, you know, I guess, underlings or whatever you want to call them, senior deputies, etc. What part of your job description includes getting a secret meeting with them where you propose a new department? How does that fit your job description in the SDSO?
I don't see it as, I know what you're getting at, but again, no, that'd be a horrible idea to say right now. You want me to say morale boosting because Big T does dog shit? That's not going to work. No, I think right now we're fine. I think we'll wait for the double down.
Wait for the
So let me ask you a question before I answer. If there was a sheriff election being planned and I did the same thing where I asked around, I said, hey, I'm running for sheriff. Do I have your vote? And we planned some stuff. Would you still think I did something wrong?
Is there a sheriff election? To your
There will be.
knowledge, is there a sheriff election?
I would say there was 100% chance.
Answer the
there will
question.
be one.
Is there a sheriff election?
Right now, no.
Okay, So this doesn't matter. We're not going down this line of questioning.
No,
There's
they
no
won't.
sheriff
This is
election.
okay.
There's
You
no
don't
reason to explore
understand.
hypotheticals.
I am. Did you not hear my whole thing?
And if I was a
planning for
cow,
the
I would moo.
future?
It doesn't matter. I'm not a cow. I'm not going to moo. There's no sheriff election. Your point doesn't matter.
There
Move
will
on.
be one. My point
There's
is
not
good.
going to be one.
Yes, there is.
No,
No,
There's been
wrong.
like 3 before in
Wrong.
the past.
There isn't going to be wrong.
There isn't a gonna, what do you mean?
There isn't.
All right,
It's going to
okay.
be.
How would I
appointed.
possibly know that when history has proven the exact opposite?
Why would a sheriff
is
election even
America.
justify making the VPD, which is exclusively an LSPD unit? First of all, this is something I asked you in the time of the at the time of the confrontation. But what is Chief Reed's first name? Do you even know her name? How can you possibly propose starting a
It's
new
great to meet
department
you, by
in the
the way,
LSPD when you don't even know the fucking chief's name? What a preposterous suggestion that you're waiting for the sheriff election to start an LSPD department?
Doing the Owen thing where he doesn't pay attention and then talks over you. As I said, the VPD, you should think of it more as Project VPD because it could be any department given to me. But because my dream was initially the VPD, it's easier just to call it that in my head. Honestly, the VPD could stand for Vinewood Patrol
Department. Anyway,
Division.
listen, I get what you're saying. I know you've had like 4 or 5 days to sort yourself out and come up with this explanation. But we all know when Deputy T and I walked in there, you were not proposing a unit. You were proposing
Yes,
a
I was.
department.
You didn't listen.
I walked in and I heard you talking about VPD. And afterwards, I clarified
Project
if you had
VPD.
been talking about a unit, that would have been more acceptable. But you were not
Yes.
talking about a
And I
unit.
said I
In fact,
was
you
a
broke
unit.
off and started a secret meeting. Aside from, you didn't even include all of the SDSO. I mean, honestly, that's the
Why
most
would I do
irritating
that?
part.
Would ruin the SDSO.
Because you're the SDSO sergeant in Shift 1. You lead those meetings. And for you to exclude 30% of your deputies, I would feel horrified if I found out that I was an SDSO
Did
deputy
anyone come to you
doing
and
my
say, "I'm
job,
horrified"?
and I found out that there was another meeting,
Yeah.
a secret meeting going on where I wasn't invited to, led by my sergeant. I would feel exiled from that department.
That's ridiculous.
You think it's okay to sow seeds of doubt?
Get the fuck out of here. Go on.
What?
You think it's okay to sow seeds of doubt in your leadership in order to obtain your power that you want, which is exactly what you were doing.
You've been doing that for years. That was not a good thing to say. I don't
With who? Who has Toretti done
Six. You
the
need
seeds
to
of doubt
come up
with?
examples now.
Listen, there's
But
a
you
lot
need
of
to
shit
come
you
up
can
with
say about
examples
him,
now.
but I don't think he's undermining his command in any way. I don't think he's ever undermined Bass.
What? Well, I wouldn't know that. Sorry, that was a bit of an outburst. I'd like to apologize. I don't think I'm sowing any doubts at all. Again, I think you're both not understanding the point of this.
And why
This
was I
isn't-
brought up?
Speak up.
Why was I brought up then, Silas?
Big T, how many times do I bring you up when we're talking?
That's because you're talking to me. But when you
No,
have a
it's
room,
behind your back as well.
so you're telling other. So this does not help you at all. You're telling me. You're telling other people
Fucking love Silas. It's so funny.
to not trust me or to not listen to me
No.
or that I'm not
I
good at my
can't.
job.
Sticks, we might have to. They're not listening. We're gonna have
You
to
can
shuffle
you
this.
can clarify things for me, but
Dongs.
Big T, you keep saying that I'm telling people not to trust or listen to you, which is not what I tell people at all.
okay. So you tell them I'm not good at my job. I don't have
Well,
good leadership skills. I'm
never
making
said that
bad
once.
decisions.
I said bad. Yes, bad decisions is all I've said.
Bad decisions. That's all you said during that meeting.
That's all. That's mainly my harp against you. Is I don't agree with.
Did
a
you
lot of
ever
your
talk about
decisions.
his age?
No, I did not bring up his age.
Have you ever called him a
Not talk about
demented
his
diaper
dementia.
baby?
I didn't talk about the diaper baby, and I did not bring up the dementia.
Have you ever called him a demented diaper baby?
I don't believe I've said that verbatim. I might have danced around it on occasion, not at the meeting.
What was the objective of the meeting, Silas? Can you go over that one? more
Yes.
time?
I fucking
great
love
question,
Seuss.
Willie.
It's
It was to gauge interest. So when a sheriff election arises, or I get permission from the acting commissioner, I would have people who can help me kickstart the department.
So it is a department, not a unit.
The unit it starts as a unit. Again, please pay attention. It would start as a unit. Well, we didn't even get that far because the meeting was interrupted. But the point was to start as a unit, okay? And then when it's I'm going to use this phrase a lot, the opportunity arises. I don't understand what you think I was going to do without the commissioner's approval. I don't understand.
I don't either. It's truly confusing why you would attempt to start a department without his approval. In the wake of and I feel like it needs to be addressed as well. This is all in the wake of Sam Bass's death. This is almost all of this comes exclusively after Bass died. I don't know if you think it's because Shreddy's weak or because you're disrespecting Bass for the hell of it, but it's downright disrespectful is what it is.
Bass was a huge fan of mine. This is what he would have wanted.
Why'd you always say he should step down and someone should take over? And you always told me I should tell him he should step down and leave.
Well, he wasn't great at times. Like when Jason Hanna was.
I really want to know what Maddie and Dark are
Dave
thinking
Yeager
right now.
insanely
Fucking
lenient,
Sock and Maddie. They're just like,
deal
holy
without
shit, what did we
talking
walk
to me
into?
about it. So yeah, that was pretty bad. He should have stepped down back then, 100%.
Well, it sucks when people make decisions without talking to other people, huh, Silas?
Well, if I'm in charge of the investigation with McNulty, yes.
I have a question.
Who are you?
Sweets, what's up?
What the?
LSPD
Wow.
shift 2.
Literally a sergeant, by the way.
Well, they've probably never met on a...
He's wearing glasses. He doesn't normally wear those. I know him.
He wears
was
those
the judge.
all the time.
He
That
was
is
the
the
every
one-
day.
Yeah,
That's
Is
all
that
he
your
wears.
haircut, Sweets? Is that
No.
a new haircut?
Personality side.
He is very judgmental,
No.
that's for sure.
I just want to know, prior to this meeting, this secret meeting, did you like sit down and speak with Toretti or any of the other SCSO, PPSO, like kind of command members about this unit or department?
No.
Okay.
This was if it was going to start as a unit, I'd rather gauge interest before pitching.
Yeah,
the
seriously,
idea.
Soups is fucking great. I really hope this...
meeting.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited.
Who?
Let's see. Riggs was there. Some cadets from the SDSO were there. Rose was there. My son was there.
Trooper Roach?
Who's your
Cooper
son?
Rose.
Drainer.
I think a lot of
Trevor
people just get
Drainer.
incredibly
Son.
defensive, borderline OOC, and just like clam up.
some girl named Valerie who turned out to
But
be
the fact is when
Philomena
he
in
confronts it,
disguise.
when there's so many people against him, and play into it even more.
Rustavo, but he goes by Lalo nowadays.
Are
can call
these
him
real
Lalo.
people?
Yes.
Yeah, Rustin
Okay.
Cooper, but people think he's a
Well,
ghost.
yeah.
now.
We
he
haven't
might-
seen Rustin in
He's-
weeks. I'm not sure if he's.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on. Every time he surfaces, he's got a new name and persona and kind of
I
Breaking
wonder-
Bad
I
adjacent.
swear I saw him there, but when I looked back, he was gone. So
Can't be sure then.
I swear.
Wait, so there was a ghost there that keeps changing his persona.
The
There
best
was
friends being
an
dead.
officer disguised
like-
as another officer.
The best friend's just doing Breaking
Lab.
Bad bits every time he
Trooper.
appears. It's hilarious.
Trooper.
Which
some,
trooper?
Rose.
Okay.
All right, and how did these people know that this meeting was happening?
Here we
They
go.
were
Here
the
we go.
People who eavesdropped
Tear apart
/
dark.
overheard me and Columbo's conversation
At the PBSO?
in the PBSO.
Wait, was Philomena eavesdropping there?
In my own building.
I bet you she was.
God damn it.
I bet you she was eavesdropping, Willie.
Okay.
Check outside the doors. I bet she's right there.
I actually have a little more to follow up about Philomena, but I first want to go over a couple things. First thing is Rose and Drainer were at the meeting, as you said, and they both came to me and texted me saying that they were very concerned on what was happening there, and they felt uncomfortable being in that meeting for what was being said and what was being proposed. You want
My
to
own
touch on that?
son?
Yeah, they were a little uncomfortable with what was going on there. They were a little concerned, and that's why they immediately left, came to the meeting where everyone else is, by the way. We had a full meeting with the rest of the police department, including SDSO members that were not
Including
invited.
2 or 3 SDSO members that were excluded from this
They were
alleged SDSO meeting.
Excluded.
That's right.
I don't know why you think I'm going around saying you can't come to this.
When I walked into the Rooster's Rest where this meeting was occurring, you claimed it was an SDSO meeting. That's why it's important. Why would SDSO deputies be excluded from their own meeting, including someone as prominent in Shift 1 as Neil McReal? A senior deputy, one of 3 at the moment.
That is absolutely okay. Here's the problem with Owen: is you're so I don't even know the word for it, but Real McNeil literally said next to you, "I'm here for the SDSO meeting." Columbo said today was SDSO at Roosters, so you're just wrong.
Is that true?
Stop fucking coming.
So you claim it's an
with shit that
SDSO
never
meeting,
happened
and people
to
are
make
saying it's
me
an
out to look
SDSO
like the
meeting,
bad guy.
but he's not there.
Yes, he did. He showed up late and said, "What's going on? I'm here for the SDSO."
You know he
meeting."
only said that because he came in with us.
He knew about it.
He did not know about it.
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, we can figure that out later if we need to.
I have a follow-up.
Well, what about
that.
Kovacic? How about that?
Yeah, that's true.
He never goes to the
He doesn't.
SDSO
What are you
meetings.
talking about? You're coming up with people who wouldn't come to the meeting in the first place.
Yeah, but they should know
telling you,
where it's at.
This was me and Columbo were talking. He said, I'm starting to go to Roosters. I think the SDSO should go to Roosters while it's blown up. People overheard and eavesdropped about the whole thing and showed up. I would have invited, if anyone else overheard it, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. This was a last minute thing, wasn't planned at all. We just showed up to Roosters because, 1, I had an idea, and 2, people didn't want to go to the PBSO meeting.
Well, let me cut you off a little bit there. First of all, the meeting was following Bass's passing, and we had a meeting together as a police department to comfort one another, and
Not exclusively PBSO. It was
was
LSPD,
everybody.
state, BCSO.
we're all together at the 42 Club, which is the bar, the police bar across the street from MRPD. And yeah, that. But I do have another thing that I found out
Bar
recently.
across MRP doesn't sound like a good idea.
I do have another thing that I found out
Cops
recently.
wouldn't drunk drive. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, I was talking to some of the people who were there, and trying to find out some of their perspective and what was going on. Obviously, I said Rose and Drainer were very concerned and unhappy what was being said and done in that meeting. But I had somebody else who was
The
there
third mole.
tell me that when they asked or they heard about the meeting, you,
Whoa.
and you and
Yeah.
Roy
Okay.
said to everybody else, don't tell, well, I'm going to out them all. Don't tell Philomena she's a Toretti loyalist. Don't tell her about the meeting.
Who said that?
You and Roy.
Me and Roy both said it. Well, at
it
the
was
same
you.
time.
Don't be obtuse. You know what I'm saying. But clearly, this meeting was supposed to be a secret that I wasn't supposed to find out about.
If Roy told her that, then Roy told her that. Big T.
Okay,
Roy
so
told Philomena that?
so Roy was making this a secret meeting to start the. But this had nothing to do with you. This was all Roy's idea to make it secret and to try to make their own department. Is that what you're saying? You had no plan. You had nothing in
listen,
that.
I love Philomena. Okay, if we said that, it was most likely a joke because she was in earshot.
Why did you have everybody sign off duty so we couldn't find you? And then you got upset with people who didn't sign off duty because we
Again,
found
never
you.
happened.
That did
What
happen.
were you?
No
What
one
were you
was-
off duty?
Most of us were signed in, I believe.
Nope, you
The
weren't.
words "sign out" was never spoken. That is
You were
not
upset
true.
that 2 people were on duty during that meeting.
Yeah, it was
because we were
mentioned
able to spot
wasn't.
you.
that Rose was on duty and you became
showed up
upset
and
at
said,
her.
No, you showed up and said there's blips here, and I went, ooh.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, the
That means
employees.
I'm mad you didn't sign out.
That's a pretty damning.
What does that
Yeah.
sound
noise.
mean?
I'm not
Can you
gonna
say
lie.
that?
Damning
Or just
noise.
for
It's a
the.
little strange.
Can you
that
say it
Big T
again?
just
Can we hear the
shut
sound
down
again?
because
Can I
there's
get the
some
noise
blips
again,
there.
Silas?
Okay, so you
I
thought
went,
Big T was
"Ugh."
being weird.
Oh
Yeah, that was Big T's being a little
It's
weird
a
right
big
now. Ooh.
accusation,
Did you
Okay.
did you pull your collar a bit when you said it?
A little, yeah.
Okay, I forgot.
Alright, I think I
Um,
understand now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait, my son is texting me.
Okay.
Can we get him in here? Because he's one of the snitches.
We
No.
prefer informant.
Well, I want to know why he felt uncomfortable.
I'd like
We're
to know
asking
that
you,
too.
Why would the two people that left the meeting talk to Tourette and say they felt uncomfortable if it's just about a new unit? Why would they feel uncomfortable?
That's why I want him here to explain.
Also, the members of Roosters, one of the, a couple of the people from Roosters
Owner of Roosters.
texted me with
I
their
fucking
concern,
forgot
saying that there was a secret meeting.
that like Lang
where
Buddha
you
was
were,
texting Toretti. Is in the middle
excuse
of
my
Roosters.
language, but this is what they said: shit talking me, and telling everybody how bad of a leader I am.
Oh my
Who?
god.
I cannot release that. They are employees of Roosters Rest. This is how I found out. This is the first way I found out actually about the meeting. Rose came in and then came to me immediately and said, "There's something going on here. I don't like it," and left and came to the real meeting, and then told me, and then that's when I told Owen, and we left.
So some people at Roosters
Yeah.
just randomly tell you something's going on.
Well, I have a very good relationship with Roosters Rest, as you know. We have the Tourette tea there, and the Pepe Special,
And the Divine Dilla.
and the Divine
Okay.
Dilla.
And the 4.2 liter Dr. Pepper.
So when they see
But
something,
Fine.
If these people are texting you that I'm actively talking shit and
Mhm.
whatever the hell, I mean, who are you gonna believe?
Well, you said you were too in this meeting. You were
Yeah, but it
talking
was
shit.
it was more like a you know how I joke. Wasn't a serious Big T sucks, down with Big T. I hate that old man. I mean, you're
Oh
at
my
this
god,
point,
he's
you
doing
are-
it again.
Sorry. At this point, damn it, don't. At this point, you're acting commissioner. I need you on my side.
Then why wouldn't you say anything to me before you started to do this? So it
Because-
didn't look as secretive and behind the back as it was.
Listen, I'm just gonna get this out there. Being secret is cool, right? We can all agree.
We gotta push him
No.
to the demented
Secret stuff
diaper,
is
baby.
cool.
Really cool.
It's like spy shit. All right, there's just I didn't keep it secret for the sake of
it's-
not having you know about it, because obviously you're gonna know about it. I need you.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. Can we not use the S word in front of the sponsors?
What did I say? What's the S word?
Spy.
Yeah.
You did the noise again.
He
You
did
did it
do the
again.
noise
Hold on, I
again.
gotta let's just let my collar a bit here.
All right.
Oh,
Obviously, I would need to talk to you about this. Being secret makes no sense. I have to come to you and discuss this with you.
I have a few questions, Silas.
yes. You want him what?
If you were to have
I
a
don't think we
secret
can do that
meeting,
legally here.
would you have it at a restaurant?
Well, the laws are different in Los Santos. We can't just do that to people.
This is an important question.
Okay.
Because this adds to more the flavor of the whole thing, and not the I wasn't seriously trying to keep this from you. No, I would not have it at a restaurant and be shouting with all of the people around me at my meeting.
Okay. Follow-up question. I'll just be direct here. Has Lance Malton ever gave you an idea about moving the BTF to the troopers and becoming your own department?
Yes.
Ooh, Willie's
Can
firing.
you elaborate on that?
Hey, there's
So
the noise
he
again.
tells me that Bass loves me and the BTF. He had his own department. He said, Silas, if you're not happy with Big T's decision making, what you can do is try to move the BTF into the troopers, and then move that into my new PD, and you can try to build up a department that way. But I didn't do it.
Did he also tell Roy about this idea?
Yes. Ooh, Roy seemed more on board than I. And it was an idea. Again, I don't think you guys would hate me or be mad at me, or you might be mad at me. But you'd understand if I joined the troopers. I don't think, this, obviously that's not what we're talking about here. But yes, the answer is yes. Malton did, I don't want to blame Malton. I think that'd be too easy. All right. I
No
might
one's
have been
blaming anyone
manipulated, but
here,
I still went
Silas.
through with the plan. What's that?
No one's blaming anyone here. I just want the facts out there.
God.
All right.
Don't start, Willie.
Thank you, Willie. Great questions.
I do have to say, I can't use their exact terminology because they were pretty severe
Make
in what
this
they
guy your
recommended.
sheriff.
But the sponsors are upset with you, Silas.
Ooh.
I do have another question.
Or were they specific? Or?
Very
worry about it.
specific. The laws are different here, and what they described has been outlawed for centuries. But
Yep.
they
Oh no.
I have another question for you that I'm going to ask. Obviously, Libby and I sometimes share the same brain, and we're able to kind of read each other's minds. So I have a question. Why couldn't you start this as a unit under the LSPD or the BCSO? And why couldn't this be, if this is such a unit patrolling BPD, Vinewood?
Hey, Sweets, you can't talk to that guy. You can't talk to him.
What?
You have to go through you have to talk to the interpreter.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Talk to his daughter. You can't
Yeah.
talk to him directly.
He won't listen.
Wondering how he gets his lens.
Well, they're gonna be pretty pissed off if you.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
All right.
Can you repeat that? You share
Sure.
the same brain?
Yeah, sometimes we're like
On the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Kind of say.
yeah. Great minds think alike.
Gee.
Anyway, why couldn't you start this as a unit under the LSPD or BCSO? And as a second part of it, what makes this different, or why does it have to be different than being looped under the BTF that you already do have?
So, your first question is I think the problem is this idea that started out as an idea got nowhere because it was instantly interrupted. This was the whole point. If I wanted to go through with this and I had enough people interested, yes, I would have I would have probably gone to you, because it's great to meet you, by the way, Chief.
She said it's.
I don't see her a lot.
She's just fine with it.
Ignoring me.
Nope, she said whatever.
Strong and silent type.
Really pissing her off, I guess.
What was that? Nope, there we go.
Obviously, I would have to have gone to you if I felt like enough people were interested. But I don't want to come to you with an idea with no interest. I'd rather, see who, gauge it first, and then I don't want to waste your time, Commissioner. Or I guess I should have gone to Svensen at that point, because I don't want to break the chain of command.
Usually this happens in the reverse order than what you did it. Usually if you have an idea or interest in starting a unit, you could bring it to either the sheriff or the
Thanks for the subs, Tanny.
chief.
Sorry, I missed that.
And hash it out there. And then once they agree that could be a good idea, then you start to push out some interest. And if you don't get interest, that's fair. But if you do, then you got a unit already. But instead, you went the opposite way.
So that's a bad thing?
Yes, yes, it's a bad thing, because then it looks like you're going behind our backs.
I'm sorry. Are we just gonna sit here and pretend like he really was? Like we all actually think he was trying to start a unit? I know that's his like defense plan he's made up in the last 4 days because of what I said to him at the time. Listen, let me finish.
You interrupted.
What I said is, at the time, if this had been a unit, this would have been more forgivable. I said that to you on the day we confronted you. And I think you used these past 4 days to try to change your narrative to the point that you're trying to insinuate that it was a unit all along. I don't think anyone here, hopefully no one here buys that. That you think you really trying to start this as a unit. When we walked in the doors of the Rooster's Rest, we did not hear you talking about a unit. We heard you talking about a department, Silas.
Please, I'm begging you, Undersheriff. You have to listen to what I'm saying. You said if this was a unit, it'd be more forgivable. And my response was, that's exactly what this is supposed to be.
And I hope no one actually buys that, because it's not a unit. You want a department.
Then you
you
don't
sat
trust
here
me.
in front of
You
it.
don't trust me.
I don't at this
Because
point.
it's 100% what the plan was. Anything else would never work and makes no sense.
Here's
How
why
am
I don't.
going to-
I got two reasons. One, you have a unit, the BTF, that actively works in Vinewood primarily. If you had wanted to make a unit or a Vinewood patrol unit, how easy would it have been to shift directions with the BTF, a collection of people that are already invited and interested in this type of police work? You have unilateral decision over the BTF to do what you're describing. You just had to start it under the BTF and use that name to shift directions. So if you wanted a unit, you have a unit. You are the sole leader of a unit. You could have done this. You have the unit. That's why I don't believe that you were trying to start a unit. You're trying to start a department. Because every time you talk about it, it's department this, department that. It's not unit this, unit that.
So now it's just words. Because listen, as I stated, I hope everyone's been listening, because the dream was VPD, that's the first thing that comes to my brain, and that's the first thing said. Now, the idea is to do it, essentially what you're talking about is to expand, the BTF. But obviously that should not be limited to only people who are part of the BTF. I also want, new people who would be interested.
You know, that's Queen Elizabeth's jurisdiction, right?
Is that,
You thought,
can we get this? I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but is Vinewood, it says it's in the hills. Is that really the city?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is LSPD territory. It's Vinewood. That's why there's the Vinewood PD.
But does that really matter?
Stop.
You know,
Don't-
there
don't
was
play
a great
stupid.
question. A great question. There is a police station on Elgin and Vinewood Boulevard, the corner of it. You familiar with what I'm talking about, Silas?
About Lance Malton?
Okay. There it is.
There it is.
There
Yep.
it is.
There it is. The Lance Malton PD. Yep.
You're going to call it the Lance Malton PD. It's the Vinewood Police Department.
Lance
Nope.
Malton Police
calls
Department.
I thought he owned it.
You know who calls it that,
Vinewood
Dark?
Police
Lance
Yeah,
Malton
take
calls
a,
it
take
that.
A crazy guess.
Is it?
He calls it PDF
Stubble?
himself.
Yes, he's trying to name it after. He alleges that he has ownership over it.
No. Wait, I thought he owns that building.
That's what he's saying. I don't think you can own that.
He does. He's redecorating.
He bought it.
inside.
Yeah.
Who sold him a government
I need to know
building?
right now if
When
he
he
owns
was,
that building.
When he
Oh,
was,
when the chief.
yes,
sold
when he
him.
was the chief,
Yeah,
they
I
gave him that
see.
building.
Can we just name buildings after ourselves? Is that
No,
something-
no, no,
No,
no.
you
It's called
can't.
Lance Malton.
Only
Especially
Bob
not
Smith gets
police
the building.
departments.
Come
We can
Only
name
Bob
police
Smith.
departments after
get the
people.
shit out on these
I do have a
streets.
hospital.
I think
named
we
after
should name one
myself.
after Bass. As a
We
silence
should. You know
man.
what? That one unpopular.
agree.
Let's make it done.
All right.
Wow.
Well, the point.
we did
well,
that.
we did.
Anyways,
Good thought.
It's
I
done.
genuinely believe that is his PD. So we did have talks a long time ago about moving the BTF into that building.
Did Lance Malton offer that?
Yeah, he wanted us to expand the BTF into more just general Vinewood patrol, and we could operate in Lance Malton PD. And he said I didn't have to leave the SDSO to do it. You could just work with me. We could get you your own uniforms.
Hold
When
on.
was this?
Wait, what?
What?
I'm sorry, Queen Elizabeth. You understand how bad that sounds for. Okay. You know what, Dark? If you want Dark Sweets, if you have anything you want to say, because this is
When was this, Silas?
After the restructure.
Okay.
So when the LSPD was just trying to get off the ground.
Vinewood Police Department.
Yeah.
There's that noise again.
Can you expand more on what he offered?
Yes. So didn't necessarily want the everyone from the BTF to join the troopers. He just wanted the BTF to work closely with him. And a big selling point for me was while we would be working in Lance Malton PD, I would still be able to stay in the SDSO. I wouldn't have to transfer to say like the troopers. And he wanted us to do more with the BTF, kind of like expand it. The kind of like how Vinewood Patrol Squad or whatever the hell.
Okay.
Then, when the opportunity arises, maybe run for sheriff. Put that on my resume.
VPS.
VPS.
About that stuff.
I'm
That's
confused
fine.
though, because you talk about wanting to like start your own department, right, Silas?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the goal, becoming sheriff isn't starting your own department. That's just running an old department, right?
That
Did you
is
wanna-
one avenue, yes.
But like, I'm
Well,
just trying
hold
to
on. I'm
understand what-
sorry. Did you think my goal is to create my own department?
That's what I'm sort of basing it off. Yes.
Okay.
You
That
just
would
want to be in
great.
charge, right?
I'm sorry. The goal is to actually now creating actually does sound pretty cool. Yeah, my new dream now is to create my very own department, but it was to run my own department.
Okay, so it sounds like if it wasn't to create a new department, it was just to get me out of power so that you could take over as the sheriff.
Whoa! What do you mean
Take
get you out of
over
power?
as sheriff in a
Refuse.
city-based
Sheriff.
department.
Yeah. So I got a question on that.
And then
So you
encroach
said,
on poor
I'm sorry.
Boogie. Go ahead.
You said your goal before Sweet just enlightened you wasn't to create a department. It was to take over an existing one. Yeah.
Run. The goal is
Yes,
to
I
run
understand.
a department.
Okay. Thank you.
Now,
Yep.
I don't.
I see. Okay.
If the chief takes offense to that, my bad. It's great to meet you, by the way.
My bad.
It's obviously there needs to be changes. I didn't know she would be so offended by this. I thought,
I don't.
Silas, how would you feel if someone started a breaking and entering unit in Vinewood without talking to you?
I love competition.
What if they took everybody from your department and told them how terrible yours was and that they should join yours? They should join theirs. And then they took all your members from you without
Did they
talking to you.
leave or did they actually leave?
Oh, they were doing it behind your back in secret.
I'd look in the
Mr.
mirror
Li
and say,
Jinping has an inquiry.
all right, I agree. Let's ignore Big T.
Wait, who's that?
Sweets.
Sweets.
you can't-
Sweets.
Sorry.
You're embarrassing us.
Mr.
Yeah.
Li Jinping would
My
like to
sponsor.
know why you believe yourself qualified to run a department when you're unable to do the most basic supervision tasks in your current role in the STSO, rather than uniting and showing a strong command and supporting
get
your
smoked.
subordinates and other command structures. You choose to rather create a division.
Good question.
Long question.
Is he talking about the BTF?
No, he's talking about your role as a sergeant.
I do my sergeant role well, Mr. Jinping.
Walton's getting a little.
Right? I'm always there in my shift, making sure all of my deputies are not only doing doing the job well, but they're happy while doing it. And if there's
And yet
issues,
your social credit score
oh
is
no,
some of the
Oh my
lowest within
God.
the SDSO.
no.
what's
It is
my
specifically noted on multiple of our reports that you simply cause more problems rather than keeping a strong, united front.
That's insane. What is my social credit score?
The fuck is the social credit?
I'm gonna need examples, Mr. Xing Ping.
What?
Whoa. Sorry. Sorry.
I believe Malton's getting a little.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus, man. Hey, you can't say that to them anymore, Silas.
Oh, what did I say?
That's not even remotely his name. And they're greatly offended.
Sorry.
Say you're bad.
That's my bad.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Cheshire.
Tisha.
Okay.
I'm
believe.
going.
Go ahead.
Well, I would love some examples because I take my deputies and my role as sergeant very, very seriously. When there is issues, I make sure they're dealt with before they get out of hand. I am the champ, after all.
Wow.
I do not ignore issues within my shift. Ever.
He is the champ.
He is. Yeah.
Do you think that having this secret meeting
The
and talking so much crap about me is causing problems? Instead of trying to make sure we're being together?
No.
So you're saying that telling other deputies as a sergeant that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm making stupid decisions, bad leader, Kyle Pred's better, blah, 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 is a good thing? Do you think that helps or it hurts?
Pred is better? When have I said that?
You have said that to me multiple
no,
times.
you and Pred are very different. That's not fair to say. Maybe it was to, push your buttons a bit. But.
Right.
So I'm gonna say this right now. I might have a habit of doing this. All right. And honestly, Big T, not gonna blame you. But if this was such an issue and you think it was hurting,
I feel like we're so close to a demented diaper
the
baby.
morale or whatever with deputies, shouldn't I have been suspended earlier for talking shit to you?
I gave you a long leash. And honestly, if it was anybody else in charge, yes, you probably would have been suspended a long time ago.
But what if I wanted you to do it?
You want to be suspended, but do you
I want to
understand
see
how
you
it
grow
looks?
some balls. I was hoping.
And I have a sergeant, Silas. You are my sergeant, and I've known you a long time. I give you a leash.
True.
I let people say things so they can be honest with me and tell me stuff that they are maybe not they're a little unsure about saying. I want to allow people to speak their mind to me, and if they have to say some things that are a little, that's okay, as long as we can come to and have a conversation. But instead, as a sergeant, you know how bad that looks when a sergeant, one of the person who I picked, by the way, to run shift 1, I let do whatever he wants, is coming around talking shit about me, sorry for my language, and telling other people that you're going to start forming a unit that's going to eventually become a department behind my back without talking to me. Or the
I didn't
chief.
get a chance to talk to you.
You should always do that first. You're sowing
I wanted
seeds.
to take initiative.
You did what is basically amounts to how rebellions start. You have a small group.
You don't
you're
really
like, listen,
think that's what I was trying to do.
Absolutely. You have talked
How
to
would
me.
that have worked?
You have talked
It wouldn't
about
have, but it doesn't
You
stop
have
you
a-
from being an insurrectionist.
Oh
Doesn't make
God.
any sense.
Oh God. I
God.
They
sorry,
do not
guys.
like rebellions.
I didn't say that. That was not my wording.
Okay. I
The
understand.
Long March, 1949.
Yep.
Tiananmen
The Irish
Squares.
were rebellious.
No, he was given the
Guys, we can't use the rebellion word anymore. It's
All right.
Yeah.
a
Please
bit of a sensitive
use-
topic.
Also, Malton would
Heroic.
like to come in and talk because he says he's getting a little ornery.
Do we have questions for Malton?
He's getting horny.
Ornery.
The
Oh,
fuck
buddy.
is he doing out there?
Now I want to address a couple of
No, don't
things.
translate that.
Sexuals.
No.
Lance Moulton's
I do want to address a couple things. And that is the things that I've done wrong. It takes a big man to admit his mistakes and flaws. And while I don't think what I did was as bad as what is being, argued by undersheriff and sheriff, There are some things I think I did incorrectly because this was a very spur of the moment, wasn't planned very well. Again, this was an idea, and then the next day I said we could talk about it in a meeting. Number one, I should have come to Svensen or you or the chief. It's great to see you, by the way. Nice to meet you. Before doing anything when it comes to making or starting a new unit, I showed initiative because that's what I love to see initiative from other people. But I guess I got too carried away and it made a huge problem. And now not only am I in trouble, apparently I've gotten a lot of other people in trouble. So I would not have. Clearly, I did not do this the correct way. Number two is the shit talking. Now, you're not gonna believe me, but the shit talking at the meeting at Roosters was more of a. I got a habit of doing it. When your name gets brought up, I just kind of say, "Yo, that old diaper baby man," which is
Okay, wasn't demented.
yeah.
But
You know, I just smoked him at the
that was
gym
good.
earlier. You guys
That was good.
delusional.
Nope, you lost.
You
Wasn't demented,
no,
but
I beat
I'll take
you.
it.
Did that happen, Big T?
Yes,
You beat him?
he
He
lost.
did not
the
win.
the last game we played, you lost.
You can't win one game of a set of 3 matches and say you win. That's not how it works.
You got
You
destroyed.
lost.
Go
See,
on.
this is what I'm dealing with.
We're
by the
running
way.
out of time,
can
by
we
the
get-
way, Silas. Let's go.
Can we get?
Move on.
Can everyone please just note what happened there?
Listen,
Um,
I love Deputy T, but I've never seen him win in a game of basketball
I
against
won.
Silas.
Thank you.
I won.
It's never
That's on the
happens, as
record.
far as I'm
That's-
aware.
They were filming it.
The last game that I watched at the gym, it was a 45-point deficit
No,
at
that wasn't
halftime.
me.
you were.
Jesus Christ.
I was
Before
on
Big T gave
fire
up.
that day. I was just ooh.
Well, you are the champ, so that
If you
makes
guys
sense.
saw that, you'd be
Let's-
like, we should be.
let's
in the
move on.
zone
Li
department.
Jinping
Uh,
would like to
so-
say our records also show a very slim win margin.
Yes,
Yeah, well, it's
for
accurate.
Silas.
that is.
No, Silas wins all of them. Listen, I got no problem saying that guy's a monster on the basketball court. Big T gets demolished every time. Never seen Big T win even once. But anyway, let's move on.
All right. So, and this is something I talked with the undersheriff about, and I agree. I think the shit talking needs to stop, and I was working on it, but I, like an addict, I fell off and started talking shit again.
Like an addict.
But it is something I was
He's
actively
addicted
working
to
on 'cause
smoking,
I believe
Big
that
T.
is correct. That there's no place for that unless it's, of course, like a private conversation. In which case, I might bring it out. You never know. In front of other people, subordinates, and stuff like that is inappropriate, unacceptable. So that one is my bad as well. So, Owen, you don't believe me, and I'm kind of scattered brain when it comes to ideas. This was always meant to be the VPD was always meant to start. Plan 1 is just to be a unit, gauge interest, and then I would obviously have to get approval from people above me and talk to Big T. Although, again, my bad, Big T's commissioner, I shouldn't be going straight to him anymore. So another thing that I need to work on here. And so I know I'm in the wrong in a lot of this, but I need you all to believe me. The intention was not to cause the R word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rebellion.
Hey!
Oh!
All right. Hey, listen, I can't protect you,
Sweet. I need to
Sweets. I
leave.
can't protect you.
What?
What is wrong with you, sweets?
What?
Hey, I don't know that Sweets guy.
That's my dad, by the way. Stubble's
I
my
don't know
dad.
him.
I don't really know him. I don't know if he's
Silas,
normally like that.
Behind the long march.
Okay.
Silas, I have
I think
One
legally
last
we can only
question
have a march so far,
for
though.
myself
Right.
before Malton gets too horny outside. Ornery. Are you loyal to the SDSO?
I was there when the SDSO first started. I want nothing more than the SDSO to, and excuse my language, thrive.
Can he say that?
Now, while I don't agree with many things Big T has done recently, that does not change my opinion on the department. I would, I do want to be a part of it. Shift 1 needs its champ. I've done a lot of mistakes. This one was too far. I don't, I understand that. I handled it poorly. I haven't given Owen a chance, the chance he deserves in his new position. And I didn't give you the chance you deserve in your position, Willie. And I want to be there for you. I want to help you. I made a huge blunder.
Why did you always say that Willie didn't deserve it over you? Why did you say Willie? Why did you say Willie wasn't fit for the job and you were fit for it and he couldn't do
No
it?
double down so far. Very
You're
surprising.
really ruining my big finish here, but I never, Willie. I never said you weren't fit for the job.
You told me you were gonna quit because Willie was lieutenant.
Now you're just talking out of your ass. Are you trying to? Is this like a test? Willie knows my opinion on the lieutenant promotion. I think I should be the lieutenant, but if it's not me, thank God it's Willie. All right, because he would have been my choice if not me. I never said once he's not fit for lieutenant. I'm sure he's going to do
Mr. Li
amazing.
Jinping would like to know why you can't just give a compliment and you must be backhanded to still make Willie feel as though that he should not be in the position.
What? Mr. Xi Jinping, you're not understanding the point here.
Well, don't
that's
accuse
not
him
his
of not
name,
knowing.
man. That's not even his name.
Shit. What is his name?
I wasn't paying attention.
You're supposed to be my advocate. You didn't advocate shit.
Did you see what I've got ammunition, don't you?
This is not a backhanded compliment.
Listen. I think we need to have you step outside, and we can talk to Lance Malton and get his side. And we got about 40 minutes until you know what. So we'll try to get back with you. Maybe 10 minutes prior. Give Lance Malton 20 minutes to sort his side out.
But I didn't answer the question.
Okay, answer the question.
I never said that, Big T. Willie's a great lieutenant.
Okay, acknowledged. You're addicted to smoking Toretti, and you didn't say that. Can you step outside and bring Lance in?
I'll get him, guys. I got it.
What the fuck?
Who said that?
Is that Kaminsky?
Yeah.
Canada.
Hey, finally ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, he's already cranky.
What, Lance?
He cried. He cried yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Screamer.
A lot.
Ostleber.
I understand.
Oh.
Ooh. Do we have labor camps? Can I say that?
Oh,
You can
praying
see
yesterday.
they're Reformation camps, sweets.
Did you say, what did you say?
Reformation?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, lad. Sorry for the wait.
Hey, Malton.
That gave me time to get my BAC to 0.
Who the fuck says that?
What does
Why
that
would you
mean?
not simply just say sober up?
Well, because I want you to know that I am completely sober right now. BAC is 0. You could test me. I'd blow it.
Wait, are you saying you'd blow into it or you'd blow it? Like you'd blow the test?
No, I'd blow a 0.
Okay, listen, we're on a time crunch here.
Hey, man, Mondays.
Are there any questions you guys want to ask ahead of time? You just want to hear him try to explain his side first?
Can I be blunt? I don't know what side I'm explaining. The only thing I've heard about this is...
No, you cannot. Shut up. I'm not asking you.
All right.
Does anyone from the panel want to ask him direct questions before we just force him to explain his relationship with Silas?
I'd rather hear him out, and then if any kind of questions arise, go from there.
I have a question to start out.
Okay.
Lance Malton, did you ever offer Silas or Roy to move the BTF to the troopers and start their own department?
No. It's just flat out no. Like the divisions or certs or whatever we're calling, don't need to be under troopers. Stubble, Thatch at the time, and Lovesick are proof of that. Also, no offense to Silas, but his conversation has never come up as a trooper recommendation in any capacity.
Okay. Did you ever offer them to operate out
Silas
of
lying.
the Lance Malton PD?
And when you say them, are you referring to the BTF?
Yes.
Yeah, for like daytime operations or some shit. I forget like the exact details of how he was explaining it, but he mentioned that with like the storefront legislation and stuff like that, that he might be wanting to make the BTF more of a not like a nighttime thing. And there is some other stuff about the SDSO in there. I don't know if we got to go into all that, but the gist of it was like if he's like hating the SDSO for whatever reason, and like not wanting to spend his time up there, if he wants to work out of Vinewood, if he wanted to use the building, he could just talk to me and I could get him like keys added to it, basically.
Okay. Did you at any point suggest that Silas start a new department?
No, I mean the only time I mean it's in the deposition, so we get a little more in that if required. But the only department division, I guess task force is what it's technically classed as, that we talked about was the BTF for the daytime operation stuff.
Mr. Li Jinping inquires if you believe Silas Grimmer is a competent leader.
I believe he's competent in terms of like charisma and galvanizing people to do things. We're talking about in, I'm just going to refer to it as organizational skills. Absolutely not.
So you believe that Silas is possibly skilled at manipulation?
I believe, yes, Silas is a good face if we were to like classify it in like movie
In a
terms.
hypothetical situation, do you believe Silas would be able to convince a group of individuals to become disillusioned with their current position?
I guess
There's that
when you
noise
say
again.
group, what number? We're like, do I think that he could like give like a speech in a public square and like incite a riot? Probably not. Could he do it with like three to four people? I mean, I think most people could if we're getting the numbers that small. You know, the answer for Silas probably lies somewhere in between.
You were talking about the mention of like, did you? I think that was asked, but I wanted to just expand a little. Offering
Yeah,
Vinewood
he's named the
TV
Snake. Everyone calls him that.
as a form of like working out of there
I see.
as a, that department.
building,
Yes.
Yes.
Was there mention
yeah.
of like uniforms being made?
I'll be honest. This is a conversation that occurred nearly 2 months ago. That doesn't sound like something I'd bring up. I mean, it would be stuff related to the BTF. If I brought up anything, it was probably like their code names or like their channel usage or something. But this was like a 5-minute conversation. It was literally in the room that was like right before the main SCSO meeting room. So it wasn't much for details. It's basically. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think it's possible when you were like, yeah, you can operate out of VPD that Silas took that as, oh sweet, I'm getting a department? Or do you think you were clear enough to be like, okay, this is a task force, that's why I'm offering basically a room for you to operate out of?
I mean, I thought I was pretty clear that it was just a building. We were talking about the BTF at the tail end of the conversation. It didn't even start as like a BTF conversation. It just kind of morphed into that. And it just ended like, all right, well, yeah, if you're I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of like, "All right, Silas. Well, if you're thinking about doing daytime BTF stuff, just let me know, and I get you keys to the building to work out of." And then I continued on my way. I don't know how many of you all were present for this. Stubble and Toretti probably were, but if memory serves me correct, this was immediately after the gunner panel that you all did. That's the only reason why I was in town to begin with, was his advocate for that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. In your opinion, we've heard two things today. One, we've heard that you gave a few suggestions a little while back that he took and ran with, and we also heard that Cumbo gave some offhanded comment that he also took and ran with. Do you see Silas as someone who is extremely impressionable?
Are
And
you saying I gave Combo an offhand comment that he
no,
ran
no,
with?
no, no.
Oh,
I'm saying
okay.
you gave a comment that Silas ran with, and then Cumbo gave a comment about the meetings, and he just ran with it. Do you think he's very impressionable?
Actually, not really. I think I don't know how you want to take this. I probably can't explain it very eloquently, but I think Silas has preconceived notions about himself, and he's gonna cherry pick things out of a conversation to run with those notions, right? So just as an example, Silas wants to eat an apple. If I go up to him and suggest a banana, no, he's not going to be impressionable. But if I suggest something red and round, he's going to run with that and eat that fucking apple and use it as validation. It's not exactly a great comparison, but that's the best way I could dumb it down in my
Confirmation
mind right now.
bias.
I guess is that I don't know
So
the technical
let me expand on
term
this
for that.
analogy. Let's say Silas. Let's say you knew Silas wanted a fruit, and you thought maybe he was trending towards an apple, and he perceived you, and you knew this, as somewhat of a fruit expert, someone who had been around fruit and worked with fruit, kind of an expert on fruit, someone who had expertise. Now, if Silas came to you and started talking about, hey, I really want some fruit, but you knew he should really be having a banana, why would you feed into the apple thing? Why would you recommend an apple? You have to understand that he would lean on this legitimacy that you present.
I heard the only way I could fix this is if I die in front of everyone.
Trevor, get out. What are you doing?
Jaden Bain just told me to come in here and die, and it would fix everything.
Okay, please don't listen to Jaden or Silas ever again.
Well, don't
Yes,
say
sir.
that.
Unless it's not on
Stop.
patrol or
Yeah.
whatever chain.
Left
of
it's a
command
lawful
he's
order.
on.
Also, I've been informed that I was the snitch.
We prefer informant.
Yeah.
Trevor, we'll call you in shortly, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, boss.
Going back to the analogy, I came to him to talk about animals. He then brought up something about expanding his fruit operations.
Okay, fuck the analogy.
Yeah,
I think you know that you, being the ex-chief of the VPD, has a certain air of legitimacy. The way you speak and the way that... If you were to talk about starting a unit or being in charge of a department
Never
named...
talked about that.
Okay, hold on. I'm not fucking finished. One, I think you and I both know that you knew Silas was unhappy with the SDSO. And that you, being the ex-chief of the VPD, and Silas expressing interest in working in the Vinewood Patrol area, you were lending him legitimacy. And maybe you used your words so carefully that you can sit here with a smug little smile on your face to all of us and pretend like you didn't encourage him. You can pretend like whatever you said falls outside the guidelines of encouraging it. But I think you and I both know that because of your air of legitimacy, that Silas latched on to what you had to say, be it so ambiguous that you can never claim you did anything wrong, or not. But I think you and I both know what I'm getting at. You being the ex-chief of the VPD, talking to Silas about a patrol program in the Vinewood Patrol area, it's not good. You're encouraging something. You're stoking a fire, and you're aware of it.
This isn't. When you say a talk, this isn't a talk. This is literally a two-line conversation. I went to talk to him and other members of the SDSO at Toretti's request. And at the tail end, it was kind of like a softball of like, oh, how are things otherwise? And then he did like a two-line sentence about BTF and daytime operations. I'm like, oh, well, you know, you need a building, I'll get you keys. And then I was on my way. This was like a full-on talk or full-on discussion. I would have had it in an office, not in the hallway outside of the SDSO meeting room.
But this isn't the only conversation you had with Silas recently.
Yes, within the past 60 days, yeah, it is. I mean, no offense to anyone here right now. I've woken up a bit while waiting, but I never see that fucking guy. I mean, one of the first things Willie said to me is like, "Oh, shift 1 Malton." I usually wake up after Silas gets off duty. The last meaningful conversation I had with Silas was this one that we're scrutinizing right now on I think it's May 25th, according to just what I could piece together with the text messages. Other than that, I honestly cannot remember the last time I spoke with Silas, patrolled with Silas, did anything with Silas.
You keep using these 60 days. Why?
Well, 60 days is just what the text messages pulls. I mean, I could maybe
Okay,
speculate
so you're aware of what a
before then.
subpoena would pull, for whatever reason. You're referencing you haven't had any conversations with him beyond 60 days. So the 60 days is because you're worried about us pulling proof on you, right? So you may have had other conversations with him that are not either recorded on a phone or through text messages or organized in any way, shape, or form, or they exceed the 60-day limit you're putting on this artificially. You think
No.
you think this is a recent thing that's only happened within the past 60 days, or do you think that's?
Would you like
Hold
me to
on,
explain
I want
the
to fucking
60
finish. Is what I want to do.
All right.
Do you think this is a recency thing where Silas has only had this idea in the past 60 days? Or do you think it's possible that he may have had this idea before 60 days and you might have encouraged it before the 60 days?
Many of you know that I am very literal when I speak. I try not to speculate, and my report style reflects that. For the sake of the accuracy of the report that I provide to Reddy, I went to a judge and I said, hey, can I get my phone call history and my text messages? And they provided me with 60 days. Therefore, I did 60 days on the report because that is what I feel would be most accurate. If I were to go through my phone call right now, I could tell you about text messages I had with Silas before if you'd like, but it would just be a generic 2-month, 3-month, 4-month, etc.
So you're telling me, in light of you being possibly interviewed about this situation, you went to a judge to get your own phone records pulled so you know exactly what we would have on you if we chose to subpoena you. You think that's a good look to admit that?
Well, I mean, I've admitted information that doesn't look good for me in a vacuum all the time. I've always been about accuracy and factual nature of these kinds of hearings. The only reason why I asked for the records to be pulled is because I did know that I had conversations with Silas. I didn't know when they were. I didn't remember then. But so I looked at my text messages. The only message I could find that could maybe narrow it down said it was from 2 months ago or 1 month ago. I forget which. And I said, well, this isn't very accurate. Hey, Crane, can you pull my records? He provided me with it. I used those records to narrow down the day that the text message came in. I'm like, okay, well, then this conversation must have happened on this day or before because of the how the text messages are in UTC. And that's what I based it off of.
What's your relationship with Roy?
He's the UPD commander at the lake.
I didn't ask for his position. What's your relationship? Got the bullshit.
I patrol with him every once in a while.
Okay. Go on.
That's it. Professional. Like I like the guy more than most LEOs, but I've never hung out with him off duty. I've never called him off duty. Every time I've done anything with him, it's been work related.
And define work related. Would it be possibly starting the VPD or this BTF branch you're discussing, or working out of the Vinewood Police Department that you're now labeling the Lance Malton PD?
I mean the latest work related stuff within the past, I'm gonna tentatively put it at a month, has been related to his resignation. Willie knows a little bit about that. He was in the room at the time, and then at Bass's request, on doing a light onboarding to the UPD commander role.
Who put him in the UPD commander role?
At the time, the commissioner Bass.
Who brought him in? Be honest.
Bass suggested
Bullshit.
it.
Bass did not suggest it. I spoke to him before his death, and he did not. He was unaware of it. The day after it happened, he came in to the Thursday command meeting at the PBSO. I believe Stubb was present as well, and was verbally surprised that Roy was back in the UPD, and we had to inform that you did it. Why would he be that? Why would Bass be surprised about this?
Because as a lot of you know, Bass gets confused on a lot of things. Toretti can expand upon this if you want, but I emailed him and I said, like, look, Roy wants to talk to you, but he said today's his last day, with your permission, and with I don't know if I said with Bass's permission, but I did get it. I mean, Trey could read the email, or I could try to dig it out. But basically, it was like, hey, Roy says today's his last day. I don't want to see him leave the PD in its entirety, because I think once he leaves, it'll get him right back in. With your permission, Toretti, can I initiate the transfer process to the UPD commander role? And Toretti replied with something to the effect of like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I couldn't be there. So if Bass is
Who
confused
suggested
about,
the UPD commander role when you knew he was unhappy?
are you talking about for Roy specifically, or the role in general?
With Roy.
Bass brought up Roy to fill the UPD commander role because Carmine had just been fired.
It's fucking slippery snake.
I did agree with him. I will say that, but the first mention of UPD commander Roy between me and Bass was Bass.
Real convenient. He's dead now, huh?
I think it's
it's also convenient that 4 out of like our 5 operational PDs have been bombed, and now you're touting yourself as the owner of Lance Moulton PD. Isn't that convenient?
Not really. I've never touted myself as the owner. I've just touted as the Lance Moulton police.
You stated that though. You stated you're the owner of the building, right?
Actually, no. I've never stated that.
Okay, you stated that to myself less than 3 days ago.
Did I?
Yep.
Less than 3 days ago? You're talking
Post funeral.
I was wasted out of my. I mean, if you say so, I'll take you at your face value. I mean,
Do you remember what you were saying after the funeral?
No, honestly, after the funeral was a drunken haze for me. To roll it back a little, while I do have a moment, I like to think that my word does carry some weight, as you yourself have said, Owen. I ran on an anti-corruption campaign, and as I said, I take these kind of fact-finding missions very seriously. Same with court and everything like that. I've been accused of a lot of things, but I've never been accused of being an outright liar or misrepresenting at a panel of this nature. So with that in mind, if you choose to believe that and look at my history when it comes to these things, I will say once again, because Bass, you're right, he's not here to get his statement. Bass brought up UPD Commander Roy in the captain's office of Mission Row PD immediately after the firing of Carmine. I never gave him any suggestion as to that. However, I did coordinate with him as to the onboarding and what the possible responsibilities of this role would be under Roy. But Roy, UPD Commander, all Bass without my input.
How many times have you been at panels recently? Review panels for your actions specifically.
I think just. Has there been more than this one? I'm trying. Yeah, this is the only. For my actions, yeah, I think this is the.
Is it okay?
Wait,
Let me
hey,
just be direct. How many times in your career have you been to a review panel for your actions?
Am I under review here? I was told I was a witness, and this was.
You're under review.
Voluntary. Oh, well, then I'd like an advocate.
That was always acceptable. How many times have you been? We don't have time for this. Okay, you have to get out. If you're gonna get an advocate, you need to get out and go find it, because we got to move on. We got 20 minutes.
Wait. before you leave,
He's not
I
going
do
to
have
answer
to-
it. Wants an
Well, no,
advocate.
I'm not asking about this. Before you leave, this is what I want from you. What do you think should happen to Silas?
Look, you guys got a panel here. I would trust the judgment of the
No,
panel.
no. You are the ex-chief.
Careful
You've
not to
been
fall off that
sergeant.
fence.
You have been around for a long time. You give advice to a lot of people. When in a situation like this, which you are aware of,
No, I'm
if you
not.
were chief,
I'm aware of what I told him. I'm not aware of whatever the fuck Silas did. That is my advice to you, Toretti. If you want me to give
Okay.
you accurate and factual advice, I need all the facts. Now, if I'm going off of what you told me on the hill that day at face value, if Silas did an insurrection, bare minimum demotion, if not lengthy suspension or firing. That's if you all determined to be an insurrection. But I don't know what you're all determining as a panel, and so I can't give accurate advice to that.
all right.
All right, get out. You're going to need a stronger gust of wind to knock him off the fence than that's ready. Bring Drainer in, I guess.
I'll give him a call. That's easy.
Right outside.
He's right outside the door.
Sweets, can you grab him?
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
look at that.
No, never mind.
No, right past it. I don't even think we have a working guillotine. Okay, we do have
Never mind.
guns. I'm worried about the blood drainage in that place. Yeah, I guess we could just get someone to squeegee it.
And Joyner has been stood outside with Silas and Jaden for
Yeah.
the past 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that in mind. Please.
All right, I will say there's no one available right now, so I'll just answer further questions if you have them. But the Drainer's already in
Time's
here.
up. Move along.
Okay, where should I stand?
Right there's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Right,
weird.
and
Joyner.
look directly into the projector. It's a microphone as well. The microphone. Speak into it.
Not,
You're good.
is there any way I could not stand in front of this really bright light?
You're wearing sunglasses.
I understand, but there's still this flash constantly.
Just come in front of
Take a
it.
step to the right. You just
Is
take-
that a-
come in front.
I'm not going to be able to
Okay.
look at everyone then. I do like.
Just look at who's
Joyner,
talking.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna keep this really direct to save everybody's time here. Okay, we hear about was it last week when you and another officer came to Toretti regarding a secret meeting at the Rooster's Rest? You aware of this incident?
I was told I'd have total anonymity.
Who told you that?
Was it Toretti? Was it the man sat in the chair with the black shirt?
It's not important. Yes, yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, Trey already mentioned your name. So the anonymity is gone. So would you be willing to answer some questions, Joyner?
Yeah, I'd be willing to answer any questions.
Okay. So you came to Toretti with concerns about the meeting. Can you elaborate on those concerns for the panel, please?
Well, really, I think originally I called him because I knew there was an announcement that was going through about a cop bar. Well, I didn't know it was about a cop bar at the time, but it seemed like a pretty big announcement to everyone. Also, Silas had talked to me a few days before because he's been taking me around, kind of showing me the ropes. He's been a helping hand in a department where I feel, quite frankly, alone a lot of the time. And, I said, I would have loved to attend this meeting. And then talks came up and I reached out to Toretti and I basically said, hey, I don't know if I should be at this. Like, Silas has got actually, I think I have text messages I could read verbatim.
That'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Give me a second. Oh, I said I don't want to get in trouble, sir. Should
Yeah,
I
you
come
must
stand
be
next
being
to
a
you?
snake, little snake.
Yeah, I think ultimately my concern was I didn't want to get fired. Obviously I'm not too aware of the guidelines of the department and attending meetings.
What was said in that meeting that made you think you might get fired if you stayed?
Well, it wasn't the fact that there was even a meeting, to be 100% honest. It was just that there was like a big announcement, and I was like, fuck, I don't know if I should be at the big announcement. What if I miss something like, hey, huge announcement today. Trevor Drainer, come to the front. Where you don't have to wear a yellow vest anymore. You know, and then I wasn't there, and they're like, where's Drainer? And then he's like, oh, this motherfucker's at the Rooster's Rest.
I see. Okay. And what was Silas saying during the meeting? Can you give us a brief rundown?
I actually didn't. I mean, the meeting was like, it was like delayed because we were waiting for Riggs to show up, which I don't know if Riggs ever actually made it.
He did.
Oh, this motherfucker.
What do you
What
mean?
did Silas
sir?
say to you in the hallway? What did he threaten you with?
Silas didn't say anything to me.
What did Jaden say to you?
Jaden didn't say anything to me.
Okay.
That's bullshit. We can see her
So
mouths
did you-
moving.
Oh, here we go. No disrespect, sir, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I think you got something out for Silas.
There it comes. They were talking in the hallway.
They didn't say anything. Just from everything that I've witnessed from the last few days, everything is like Silas did this, Silas did that.
I've only spoken to Silas in front of you once.
Yeah, and the whole time you were berating him.
Because he tried to start an insurrection, you fucking idiot.
Well, how did he try to start an insurrection?
I don't have to justify myself to you.
Hold on. All right. So you didn't feel uncomfortable at the meeting, Trainer?
I just felt uncomfortable because I wasn't sure if I should be there at the main announcement.
Okay. So nothing happened at the meeting that made you.
I
text
wasn't even
Ferretti?
there when the meeting started.
Okay, get out.
He's compromised. What they said something to him. He can't be trusted.
I'm not compromised.
Get the
It's
fuck
fine,
out.
Drainer. Just get out. You're fine.
God damn it.
So that didn't go anywhere?
No.
They clearly threatened him or something.
I'm just confused, Big T. I thought you said he contacted you.
What the hell
Yeah.
just happened?
He did. He asked if it was.
He's
We'll call you-
compromised.
No. It's
Yeah,
Why
Immuno.
was he kicked out?
Got like a week.
He just said
Anyone
nothing
ask you
for
to
us.
come in, Silas?
Silas, can you step out for until we call you?
Right.
It's all right. Can you just tell us what Joyner said and Joyner and the other person? I can't remember. Trooper.
It was mostly Rose. He was there. He was concerned about being there. He asked if he should not be there. He came over to the main meeting immediately.
$1.5
with
million
Rose.
deal from the SDCO budget
So,
given by the donor's
Who's around right
contract.
now?
I don't think
SDCO
so.
pays 1.5 million. Brewster's Rest will supply tea named after Toretti, and he gets a cutback. Signs
All right. So
DT
do we have more
and
questions for Silas?
LP Pun? El Pone?
No,
I don't.
wouldn't really give us.
I still think
getting-
I still think it's bullshit. He's pretending like this is a unit, and he started as a unit. I think he latched onto what I said to him at the time when we confronted him. I confronted him and said, if you had been trying to start a unit, it would have been acceptable. But because it was done in secret and it was a department, it amounts to an insurrection. And I think he that's what he latched onto, and that's his defense now. Is he's claiming it was always going to be a unit. It was always going to be a unit, and he wants to try to roll a unit into department like everybody else. But hold on, I just want to correct the record. First of all, I don't believe that. Second, nobody's ever rolled a unit into a department. I just want to make that clear. I can't think of any unit that has become a department. It's a preposterous notion with no basis in reality.
But it's notion that people might have seeded inside of Silas, right?
It's possible Lance Moulton convinced them to do something, but listen, I'm not the only one that sees it, but I hope. But he's a slimy little fucking snake, and I don't think it's out of the ordinary for a snake to shed its skin to avoid the hand it's in. And it's gonna be hard to nail him down because he's precise with his words. I mean, the guy fucking went to the judges and asked for his own phone records so he would know exactly what we had on him if we had even done that. I
Yeah,
mean,
very bizarre.
he's like trying to play 4D chess, and he's pretending like he doesn't think he's under review, but he still came in here with records in hand covering his ass. Isn't that, to me, this is not a legal proceeding. This is an employment proceeding. There's no standard of proof. With the code for hiring and firing in Los Santos specifically excludes government facilities. There's no unlawful termination in Los Santos, at least when it pertains to government facilities. We could fire him because we don't like the way he looks at us. So there's no standard of proof is what I'm trying to say. And to me, this little snake rat fuck sitting on his fence is trying to play this game so carefully that he I don't know, for whatever reason, to me it seems clear that he's got some kind of motivation to lead Silas down this route. And I don't think he could ever planted a seed in Silas's head that wasn't already there. It's clear to me Silas and Roy were unhappy for whatever reason. They had something against Big T, something against me, whatever. I mean, I wasn't even in high command at the time that all this animosity started behind Big T's back. But in any case, it's clear to me that Silas and Malton and Roy were in on something, a conspiracy. They kept it from Big T. They're going to claim it's a unit, but I believe it was always a department, always meant to be a department, always talked about in terms of a department until we confronted them on Friday or whenever it was. I think Thursday, maybe even. And I want to expand and think, I think Lance Malton is more responsible than anyone will give him credit for. I think this slimy little snake fuck, I think all of us have doubts in our head. We have little seeds of doubt about maybe we deserve more. Maybe we're worth more. But we're grounded because we interact with each other and we realize there's value to having people above us and aside us and alongside us. But Lance Mullen used his position of legitimacy as being ex-chief of VPD to convince Silas and Roy to do something that they wouldn't have normally done. And now he's going to hide behind this, I have my phone records and it only shows me talking to Silas twice or once or whatever the fuck. But I think all this slimy shit aside, we both know he had a role to play in this, a very important one, where he stoked the fire so high that Silas thought he was invincible. And of course, it doesn't make any sense. Silas is right. It doesn't make any sense. Why would he start an insurrection when he needed the only commissioner available now is approval? But I think that's exactly what Lance Mountain provided. He stoked the fire so high, he added so much timber to it, that even Silas thought he was untouchable to Big T. And now he's realizing he's crashing back to Earth and realizing Big T is in charge, and there is no more going around him. And now he realizes he has to grovel for his fucking job.
Clean.
Before we end this, I guess LSPD or anyone else, sponsors, do you have any recommendations?
Mr. Li Jinping has made his decision. Regardless of yours today, he will be required to pay reparations back in China. Due to his low social credit score and knowledge of proprietary SDSO information provided by the PRC, we suggest a hard labor recommendation for re-education here in Los Santos, including, as previously mentioned, a trip to China for further reparations.
Okay.
With that,
It's a holiday.
Mr. Li Jinping and I must depart back for the mainland. Thank you all very much for your time. Sheshe.
Thank you.
To break a leg.
Do you guys need a ride back to the battleship, the destroyer?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm gonna have Drainer drive you out there.
I wonder what my social credit score is.
Very low after you said the day sweets. Very low.
What? All I said was rebel. What?
Drainer, I need you to drive the sponsors back to their destroyer in Toledo.
Yes, sir.
You spent that 35 grand on some dope stuff. You
Oh,
And I've lost my train of thought because I was trying to be a shithead.
I guess recommendations or opinions on any consequences.
Stubble, you got any thoughts? You've been awful quiet.
My brain turns a little bit to thinking like you're trying to say Roy, Malton, and Silas were all like in this little coup to like make their own department, right?
I think Silas and Roy were. I think Malton stoked the fire either out of his own excitement of being VPD chief again, or just because he hates us.
Roy's, I guess, recent promotion, I want to call it, to commander of the UPD.
He's still considered senior.
I understand that, but if someone wants to create a department, why would they do that when they've just recently been given more authority and more power over something that I believe Roy would enjoy.
Because
why would he,
it's being
why would he
clawed
go out-
back because it was a having someone of a higher rank in the UPD makes no sense. So that's being clawed back. It wasn't a great decision.
And he was aware of that clawing that's happening?
Yes, presumably.
Presumably, so we don't know.
Also, just to be aware,
a lot more than it is now. At the
a
start.
lot of this started prior to him becoming the UPD commander,
Yeah.
or right as.
Okay, sorry. I don't know that timeline.
Yeah, the timeline is a few months, if not like 4 or 5, not just 60 days like Molten tried to claim it.
I'm inclined to believe Malton just based off my gut. I understand you may have some personal feelings there.
What, personal feelings? That's my brother.
You just called him a rat fuck.
No, I said snake fuck.
Oh, my
You
bad.
said snake.
Apologies.
You said snake rat fuck. I believe.
I did say that
there was
earlier.
a rat fuck in there somewhere.
Yeah, earlier.
So I'm more likely to believe that Roy and Silas are involved. I'm unsure how to approach Roy, but if Silas is in fact going behind his high command's back and trying to bring about a coup, my gut says demotion, but I also like in my worries of punishing people. I'm a big fan of taking away the things you love, and one of the things he loves the most is BTF.
I'm not sure he loves it anymore, to be honest.
He still does. If he loves it so much that he wants to use it as an alleyway to create his own department.
But he didn't want to use it as an alleyway. That's my point. Is that he could have used the BTF and just renamed it or changed direction with it, and nobody would have known better because it just would have been BTF stuff, right? But he specifically didn't do that. If he had done that, I think we'd have nothing on him. If he had done that, we would have been fooled, right? It would have kept going. But because he specifically didn't use the BTF as cover, that's how we got him, right?
Oh, I think that's my recommendation. I'd say demotion but the BTF thing, it's like you're gonna tell an officer to not respond to crime. I can't do that. That doesn't make fucking sense. But that's what my gut says anyway.
Good night, Stubble, Willie. I want to hear it from you guys.
Yeah. Sounds like, well, not sounds like. It's very obvious that he's not doing his duties as a sergeant, but he's doing his duties as the director of BTF, and that's top priority. So just remove him from the position of sergeant so they can focus on BTF. And then if he wants to do something like, I don't know, adjustments to his unit, as he said he wants, then he can actually do that without the guise of sergeant. If you ask me, I think he's unnecessary as a sergeant towards the SDSO, and he actually works against it. And that's one of the reasons you have this massive turmoil inside of the department, and you're getting an opportunity to someone else to step up to it. He is the leader of the BTF, and he's necessary as that leader. But I don't know if he's necessary as the Shift 1 SDSO sergeant.
Willie?
With everything that's been said today.
Willie?
I'm still thinking about it.
Dark, Libby?
Should we come back here afterwards?
Probably should, I guess. Kind of knew it was going to take 3, not 2.
I got an hour max after Storm.
Well, I mean, if you don't have anything else to say,
You've given your recommendation. I'm not going to keep you any longer if you don't want to.
I would still prefer to hear people out
Yeah,
on what they want to say.
absolutely. You're invited. I just don't want to make you feel obligated.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll meet here in about 5.
Okay, I'll miss you.
You mean that?
Yeah, you're all right.
He really does.
I do. I like Owen. He's a good guy.
Last me blushes. Oh God. I think Libby's like at work and stuff, so she can't really talk too much, is what I'm picking up on. Sweets question mark. I gotta kiss all these people. I gotta kiss Snow. I gotta kiss Sweets. I gotta kiss so many kisses, man. Yeah, it's very early morning at you. I think. No, actually,